Hello and welcome to Talking Games match P of West Ham United against Manchester City. Match day 3 of the Premier League and the last one before the international break. I know, already. Anyway, Gonzo, kick us off. Your thoughts on Manchester City, please.
Yeah, I mean, it's surprising. It has to be said. Some of the transfer business they've done, I guess Alvarez leaving, not a massive surprise. They did really well for him, haven't they, really? The money that they got him for, and then to be able to go and sell him for 70 million. Only other clubs had known about his availability. Someone else could have made a nice, tidy profit on him, actually. I was expecting... more attacking players to come in, and I think we did a Brazilian lad whose name I've forgotten already, who's playing on the right hand side. Sort of went under my radar certainly from what I've seen. Looks to be a really really good player. I was and to see Gündoğan come back, incredible deal really. There, I think watching them. What's different from this season is that winger. I think Lewis being involved sort of from the start and looking, really competent as well. But I think it's really hard because I think Erling Haaland's played sort of 100 games or something for Man City and scored 90-something goals, right? The stats are something similar to that. So it's hard to say. I think he won the Golden Boot last season, so it's really hard to say he had a bad season. But he wasn't. His pecker wasn't fully up last season. Let's put it that way, right? And to use that footballing cliche. And I think his pecker's up now, and he looks right up for it. And maybe they're playing a little bit more to his strength. So yeah, they look formidable again.
Yeah, sometimes Man City can take a few games to get up and running, but they haven't waited around this time. They've just been good from the first whistle against Chelsea. They've just been at it, and they look like they picked up from where they left off last season as well. And obviously, there's a lot of talk around Man City off the pitch. Is Pep Guardiola going to leave? Are they finally going to get done with their 115 charges? And what's the result of that? Will they be relegated? What's going to occur? And I think Man United have been box office in years in terms of a soap opera, but actually I think it might be their noisy neighbours this time round that might actually have all the attention this season. I'm intrigued to see what Pep Guardiola does. He's sort of hinting that he's going to stay, but hinting he's going to leave as well, and you can't help but feel it might be dependent on the outcome of the 115 charges, where you might say, I'm not sticking around for this, or I'm going to go before you get properly sanctioned. I'm going to walk out of here and look like the innocent man in all this. So that's intriguing. I think the difference, you mentioned Rico Lewis, is actually the other two youngsters for myself, which was Oscar Bob. Mm-hmm. Pre-season looked really good, and that he was going to be quite a key component for them, but then got that big injury, which was just... I don't like seeing things like that. And then James McAtee, who I thought did well at Sheffield United, involved in pre-season, and Pep saying, I don't want him to go anywhere. I don't want him going out on loan. I don't want him being sold. So actually, I think their team's got stronger without actually signing anybody. I know they have signed players, but prior to those signings, I think their team's got stronger anyway. But like you said, the development of Lewis and then those two players as well becoming a step closer to playing first-team football at Man City. But Gündoğan back just seems like... I don't know how he's got on in Spain, right? I don't know. But if you've got even just 90% of the player that left coming back, I think it's a really good signing. Yeah. Because I think they missed him last season. I think there was games last season where they were just missing that central midfielder. And it's mental considering they won the league and stuff. But I don't think we saw prime Man City for large parts. And I think he was quite pivotal the season prior to that one before he left. Savinho's come in. Looks really good. I've never heard of him. Watch him against Chelsea, skipping past Cucurella like he's not even there, went off injured. So he's definitely a player that I'm looking forward to learning more as the season goes on. Time to get your crystal ball out, Gonzo. Let's have a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
What are they going to win?
They are going to win. I'll tell you exactly what they're going to win.
Go on.
They're going to win the league title.
Okay.
They are going to win the League Cup. And they're going to lose to Real Madrid in the final of the Champions League. There you go.
I've got a feeling this is Arsenal's year, I do.
Everyone does.
I just got a feeling. Don't know. I think it's because Arsenal's weakness has been possibly their left back and striker, and while they haven't solved the striker situation yet, I think Kai Havertz has moulded more and more into a striker as the season's going on. But also now they've got Calafiori in there, but they've also got Timber, who, although he signed last summer, he played about one game and got injured. So it's almost like a new signing. And now Marino's gone in there just to tighten up that midfielder. I think Arsenal have done some good business this summer as well. They weren't far away from Man City. They just need to repeat what they did with a little bit more and hope that Man City don't also improve. But I think they'll definitely win trophies, plural, this season, Man City. So I'll go for the League Cup and FA Cup double. I think they'll win that, which is a bad season for them.
Absolutely.
Sounds mental.
Well, let's say they might have worse seasons to come.
Well, I was about to say then, and as a bit of a curveball prediction, these 115 charges, do you think it will happen this season? Obviously, the hearing is supposedly ready to get underway in a few months' time, but I think the conclusion of it is a different matter altogether.
No, I think they'll drag it out for as long as they need to. But I don't know. I mean, the whole thing is a farce, quite frankly, anyway. I mean, the whole thing. And what I mean by is that there shouldn't even be any charges, because people should be able to spend what they want, as far as I'm concerned in football. I've always thought that. And, and Man City getting caught for these charges and then being done is not good for West Ham. There's a lot of people clamouring. They must be punished. They must be punished. It's not good for West Ham. It's not good for anyone who would hope that new owners would come in and buy their club and then propel them to the top. You just can't do it. We need the rules to go. So that being said, I've got to be honest with you. They've had some really good times, Man City. And whilst they might be able to punish them, knock them down a peg or three, quite possibly, they won't be able to undo what they've done in terms of that whole infrastructure rebuild, which is incredible. It's like a mini city that they've made there with the academy and the other stadium next to it, the pitches, and it's incredible what they've done. They have the amongst the best youngsters. It's not just one crop of good youngsters. West Ham have got a really good crop of young players. We really do. But Man City have got a great crop of 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds, 18-year-olds. But if they have a conveyor belt, and make no mistake about it, if they go down, I'm not suggesting that any Man City fan wants to go down, but if they do, we are dealing with Man City here. We're not dealing with Manchester United. We're not dealing with Arsenal. We're dealing with football fans who are used to dropping down the leagues. They may well find they're in for a hell of a ride, and I would not be surprised if, even if it happened, that they came back rip-roaring, in absolute style. Even if they did go down to League One or so, they'd kill it. They'd absolutely kill it, and they'd start with a clean slate and arguably have just an absolutely tremendous team. And talk about Pep Guardiola. Always the accusation is, he's always had money. He's always had money. What would that be for him if he could stay and do it, to take a team from League One to the Premier League? He'd almost have done it all. Okay, I've done the money thing. Now I've brought academy youngsters through as well. I think there's a challenge. I think there's a challenge there. It's hard for me as a West Ham fan. It might not be the same, but it's hard for me as a West Ham fan to sit here and say to Manchester City, "Oh, you might quite like this. You might enjoy it." But bearing in mind, they've had the Champions League, they've had the league titles and all the rest of it. I honestly think this punishment would impact Man City almost less than anybody else, because of this infrastructure and because of the attitude of their fans who are used to bad times as well as good times.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think there's a notable difference of reaction from fans when things aren't going too well at your club, and Man United lose the plot because they're not in the top four, right? The fans scream anarchy because they're not challenging for the Premier League. And I'm not saying they shouldn't, by the way. That should be the standards of Manchester United, that you are challenging for the title. When you're not, they've got every right to be disappointed and unhappy with the running of the club. But I think I agree with you. I think Man City fans are a lot calmer, a lot more humble. And that is, if you kick us out, so what? Like you said, it's nothing we've seen. And actually, things like that can actually sometimes ignite a fan base, and find that you bring the fans together. Those who perhaps have maybe not gone to as many games for whatever recently, etc. You might actually find that it improves the atmosphere short term at Man City, where the tourists are no longer turning up because it's like, well, I don't want to watch these players. I want Premier League football. I want Champions League. I don't want to watch Man City play Tranmere Rovers or at Accrington Stanley. I don't want that, so I'm not going to attend those ones. But you'll find the hardcore Man City fans are still rocking up at that game.
Yeah.
And I actually think, in a weird way, like you said, it might become a bit more enjoyable. And I've got no doubts that they would bounce back almost immediately. Like you said, for the infrastructure at the club, the scouts in network still there. They've still got young players ready to come into the first team. There would be a fire sale, players leaving. And the reason I say it wouldn't be the same Pep did it, because he'd still be using world-class 17-year-olds to get back into
for sure, and
League.
£400 million worth of revenue, which they'd brought in legitimately by player sales, for sure. But I just think that might be a nice little thing for the CV. I just think if I was Pep, I'm not necessarily walking away under those circumstances.
Yeah, and the EFL rules are different as well in terms of money. I discovered the other day that there's actually no financial rules lower down the EFL. I just assumed there was, but someone was telling me no, in League One there isn't any, hence why Birmingham are buying players for like 5 million. But when you get into the Championship, there's now financial constraints. So technically, Man City went to League Two, they could spend whatever they wanted. They
could buy Mbappe.
they could buy Mbappe. Newport away with Mbappe up front, so they could actually spend what they want. By the time they get to the Premier League, it's like, oh, what are you going to do? We're rocking up with our team worth of what we spent $1 billion on. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
you kicked us out for breaking rules. We've adhered to the rules because there are none, and now we're back, and you can't touch us. So I think City would be back. I don't think this has come to a conclusion. I'd imagine the hearing will get underway, and even if they do get punished, I would imagine Manchester, and they were found guilty. I think Manchester City would appeal those and continue to drag this on. So I'll be surprised if it comes to a conclusion. I'll be surprised if and when it does, I'll be surprised if it leads to Manchester City getting booed out of the league. I think they might get hit with a points deduction, but they're so good that they could take a minus 50 points deduction and comfortably survive relegation.
It's true.
So minus 50 points.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll finish 14th. Not the end of the world. Next season, we'll challenge for the title again.
Yeah.
Players you admire?
All of them, really. All of them. I mean, this is the worst one to do in that respect.
All right, then. Let me change up. Let me have a little bit of fun. You could bring one Man City player to West Ham. Who would it be?
Forget age. Just forget age. De Bruyne.
Well, okay, including age, who would you bring?
Including age, Haaland. I think, I know he's not the most technical, but he's amazing. That finish the other day where he dinks it over with his left. He's a monster. He's an absolute monster, and he's Norwegian, which is good. I mean,
not to be confused with Danish.
I never. Who would confuse the two? I don't know who, but absolutely, But you could choose any of them.
Rodri for me. I think Rodri would allow us to have Paqueta and Kudus as your number 8 or something. You just
would you not continue to play Soucek if we had Rodri?
Moving on, we're going to discuss West Ham now. Before we do, just want to point in direction of this video sponsor, which is Match Bingo, the app which combines the old traditional game from Britain with your favourite football team while you're watching football, as well as an in-play game to play. Now, there's a promotion on for the Manchester City West Ham game. It's 3 for 2. So you buy 3 cards, you get 2 free. It's got 5 in total. It costs you £6. You need 15 things to occur in the game for you to get the full house. Pays out first line, second line, as well as full house. And there's a bonus pot for anybody that gets full house, but they just weren't first. Last week, Hammers Chat subscriber was the first person to get 2 lines, so they got a nice 50 quid off the back of their entry. If you fancy getting involved and you want to check out the Match Bingo app, you can download it via the link in the description below. The 3 for 2 promotion is on numerous games, not just the West Ham Manchester City one, but do use the link in the description so you know you've come from Hammers Chat. It is a gambling app, so please do gamble responsibly. 18 plus and over, but we've had over 70 subscribers of Hammers Chat win on Match Bingo, and some of them have won multiple times as well. So if you do get involved, best of luck. And myself and Gonzo will catch up with you on the build-up show. Well, I'll catch up with you on the build-up show on Saturday, and I'll let you know what's on my card. And hopefully I can win a few quid on Match Bingo. Right then, team news. Bit of a difficult one because we don't completely know it. Any player to feature in this game needs to be signed and registered by midday on Friday. So the deadline ain't until 11 p.m. at night, but anybody that signs and is registered at 2 p.m., 3 p.m. cannot play in this game. They have to be registered by 12 o'clock noon on Friday. So there might be some new signings for West Ham and Man City at the time of recording, which is Thursday morning. Team news as it stands, Gonzo, everybody's available. I think Todibo got injured against Bournemouth. However, we can include him for this preview because if I say you can't have him, I know what you're going to do. So if I say you can have him, it gives you a bit of a decision to make in your 11. And you can include the likes of a Gerrard and Danny Ings if you wish, although they're expected to leave. You can include them if you want. They're still a West Ham player.
I might do.
I'll be surprised, but you may do. So with that in mind, can you give me your goalkeeper plus your defence? And if you're going to switch to a back three, can you make it knowing that you're going to change formation?
I don't. I'm not dilly-dallying and dabbling with tactics. No, I'm going to keep the tactics as they are. I'm going to put Areola back in goal, and don't even need to justify why I'm going to do that. But I'm bringing in Wan-Bissaka. Is going to start the game. He's going to start the game at right back. Incredible. Just continues to impress. He started to impress, and some player. He really is. I'm going to continue though with Mavropanos and Max Kilman at central defence. Why would you not? Clean sheet against Crystal Palace. We do not get many clean sheets. We were shipping goals for fun last season. We just kept a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. Just kept another one against Bournemouth. I know he only played half the game there. Todibo did not do enough in his half on the pitch to take the place away from Mavropanos, who wasn't great in the second half against Bournemouth, but clean sheet partnership, we keep that. Emerson plays at left back only because we can't clone Wan-Bissaka and play him at left back as well.
I completely agree with everything you've just said there, actually. Complete same back five for me with Todibo. I'm not sure Mavropanos' shirt was up for grabs anyway, but Todibo certainly didn't do anything to give anyone a dilemma and say, oh, actually, maybe we put this guy in from the start. Mavropanos wasn't great when he came on against Bournemouth. However, it was just as bad as Todibo, in my opinion. So I think we can discard both performances there, and I would stick with that. So Wan-Bissaka comes in for me at right back as well. Now, moving on into midfield, I think this is where maybe the bigger decisions are. I think that picking the defence is quite easy for Lopetegui, unless he's going to switch to back three. But even then, I think it becomes quite easy, which is Todibo, Mavropanos and Kilman. But in midfield, I think is where he's got some key choices to make, and obviously you've got to take into consideration we are playing Manchester City. So who would you like to see line up at the base of your midfield?
It'd be Rodgers there, and I'd put Alvarez. So I'd go with a full defensive midfield triple pivot.
I completely agree. To be honest with you, I think nobody has been. We've only got 3 games to go off of. I thought Rodriguez played well against Crystal Palace, looked good against Bournemouth. I thought Alvarez looked good against Bournemouth, but nobody next to them at any point has looked good. Ward-Prowse, Paqueta, I don't think any of them said, I'm really good in this position, leave me in here. I think these two sort of pick themselves for this game. Maybe you'd get a different answer if we were home to Ipswich, for example, but we're not. We're at home to Manchester City.
No, we're not.
They like to play it through the middle. They like to play it in and around your 18 yards. I think those two defenders need as much protection as possible because I think they've been put under the cosh a little bit and they've done well. But I think if we continue to play the way we do, I think they're going to be really busy against Man City. And Mavropanos showed a weakness with struggling to get back when the ball was played over the top of him against Bournemouth. We allow Man City to do that with Haaland, it's just going to be a problem. So I think we need as much protection for our back four as possible. And that is Alvarez and Rodriguez, which gives you dilemmas as you go through the attacking part of the team. On the right, Jared Bowen.
Yeah, there's no dilemmas for me. There's no dilemmas here.
Me neither, but I think me and you are going to have the same 11, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I don't think Lopetegui is going to pick it.
No, but listen, I mean, okay, well, we can have that call. Let's just finish our teams. Obviously, Bowen on the right, Kudus attacking midfield, Paqueta on the left, and Fullkrug up front, right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. Right. Yeah.
So now we can have that conversation, which is, look, we both suspect Lopetegui is going to play Soucek in there, and I understand why you'd want the big fella up there to try and cause some mayhem, but we still need to get the ball to him, and I don't like. You don't need Fullkrug and Soucek to do that. One of them, you would.
I don't think he will.
You don't think he'll play Fullkrug?
No.
Oh, don't you? Go on.
I think he might go to a back three.
Right.
But if he doesn't, I think he'll put Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, and then Soucek in the number 10.
Okay.
That's my prediction, because he moved him up front against Bournemouth, Bowen.
Yeah.
And we got a goal. It wasn't great. It hit him in the arm, but we got a goal off, and I thought Kudus looked good on the right-hand side. And he likes Thomas Soucek.
Yes. He really, he really likes Thomas Soucek.
So I've got a feeling that's what he'll do. I think he'll pick the same defenders as we pick. I'm unsure he'll go Alvarez and Rodriguez, but I think he'll kind of have to. But I just think Soucek plays. I don't think he drops Thomas Soucek. So it's a case of, well, where is he playing? In that number 10 role, okay. You work backwards. So what are you doing with Kudus? Well, he's got to go somewhere. And I'm not sure he'll leave out Paqueta or Bowen. So at least Fullkrug. And I think he becomes the easiest one to leave out. So I think he'll go Bowen up front, Kudus on the right, Paqueta back on the left, Soucek in number 10. It's David Moyes' attack again.
It is. It really is. That's crazy, actually. Well, I say crazy. Who knows? He might not do it, and if he does, it could win the game. So, I mean, that could be really, really interesting, couldn't it? Yeah, I mean, even though it was terrible, lots of terrible performances against Bournemouth despite the win, but Soucek played throughout, as you rightly said. He wasn't. He's undroppable, really, in that sense. And let's be fair, I thought he was crap against Bournemouth. I thought he was very good against Villa. Not in terms of passing. I hate doing this disclaimer.
I know.
You got to assume that no one's ever seen a video before, right? I'm not suggesting that Soucek was Kevin De Bruyne at all, right? But he's had this role to be a menace inside the box. I thought he was brilliant at it. I thought he caused Villa all sorts of problems. And I thought, actually, against Crystal Palace, well, he almost wasn't quite as effective, but he still did his job, being a menace in the box against Crystal Palace. I'm willing, as long as Thomas Soucek is able to cause mayhem to the opposition defence, I am willing to sort of, block out his inability to thread the ball through and make a pass. Unfortunately, I think against Bournemouth, he didn't do anything in the box either. So he did not. We didn't get the good. We got all the bad stuff and didn't get the good stuff. So, but anyway, irrespective of that, he's had two. I'd say he's had 2 good games for me, where he's been effective at doing that, and 1 bad one. So I think, and he did, even the bad one, he didn't get subbed. So yes, I think you're safe to assume that Soucek is going to play. Yeah,
because we've also displayed an eagerness to bypass midfield in all 3 games. At times we play around at the back and whatnot, but even the win against Palace, we showed we don't mind going long. We're happy to hit a 50-yard ball in the air. And we're doing that against Villa, Palace and Bournemouth. We're coming up against Man City. Forgive me for not believing we're going to start threading ball through the middle against Manchester City. I think the tactic will be to keep the ball in defence as and when we can. But if there's no simple pass on, to go long.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have Soucek in the pitch to do that. If he was to play, to be fair, Fullkrug could be the one to aim at. I'm just not sure he does. I think Soucek plays this game, and then, like I said, you work backwards as to what else is going to happen in order to get him in. And yeah, neither of us want to see it, but I think we're going to. I think we're going to. Do you have any optimism?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to enjoy it. Honestly, it was like that during the Bournemouth game. It was late at night. No one wants to have a coffee at 9 o'clock at night, do they? I had to. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to enjoy it, but in fact, the coffee at the London Stadium is horrendous. It's just horrendous. It's horrendous. Anyway, don't worry about that. I'm
more of £8.
Absolutely, be skint. I got the kids with me as well. Now want a £15 Snickers bar as well.
They can have a slurp of your coffee. That's enough for you.
Poison them, really.
£3 that was.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what. Never mind, a Man City 115 breaches. I want 115 breaches in the kiosks at bloody at London Stadium for overpricing. Anyway. Where were we? What am I talking
basically justifying why you think we're going to beat Man City.
That's right. That's quite right. Very good. Very perceptive. Absolutely. Yeah. So I am about to do just that. 1-0 to the West Ham, which preempts your question later on. I can't see any other result, quite frankly. People keep using the word poo housing. And I think we might be seeing a bit of that going on, actually. I think we might not be able to string a pass together. I think there will be some falling over. I don't think we'll have a midfield. But somehow, I think we're gonna keep them quiet. Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Max Kilman once again will be men of the match. Our best signings of the summer will continue to be defenders. And realistically, see, here's the thing. Manuel Lopetegui, I've gone mad, right? I thought it's not David Moyes, who is it? Hey, Manuel Bilic. No, listen, right? Julen Lopetegui, right? He's watched the games, and he's thought he spent ages watching West Ham games. He's watched them all twice, right? But it's his last season. He's made his dossier, and he's gone and said, "This is what West Ham need to do." It's quite clear. Need to keep everything the same apart from change the defence, which was leaky. So that's why Wan-Bissaka, Kilman, there you go, clean sheet. Hoof it long to Big Sue, get Jared Bowen in and around him. Kudus, Paqueta, a bit of play acting from Paqueta. What's not to like? 1-0 West Ham.
I'm tempted to end the preview now because I'm ready to piss on your parade a little bit, and I don't want to do that. This is positive. People, whenever we predict a loss, some people always complain we predict a negative. Well, hang on a minute. What you predicting 5-0 West Ham then, or where are we going from here? But I don't even have your optimism. Honestly, if you don't want negativity, now's the time to bail. Right, end the preview now. You want to end on a high? Oh, yes, Gonzo, we're going to beat Man City. Now's the time to go.
And like and subscribe on all the stuff.
Do that bit, but I'm ready to say the opposite. I think we're getting beat quite comfortably here because my enthusiasm after that Bournemouth game was hoovered out of me. During that Bournemouth game, I was not happy.
Enthusiasm enema.
Everything was hoovered out of me. Gone. It was like Madry Moyes that's my new nickname for him at present. Madry Moyes was in the dugout, and I was watching last season's West Ham just with new players. And I hate how much it made sense when you said he watched West Ham last season, decided keep the attack the same, tighten up the back, because we did all right scoring goals last season. Scoring goals wasn't an issue. It was the fact that we were shipping goals like we were Burnley. That was the problem. But I'm not seeing Mourinho's Chelsea here, right? I'm not seeing this defence that's hard to break down. I've seen teams fail to take their chances against us because they have created opportunities. Bournemouth should have scored. Crystal Palace should have scored. They've hit the woodwork. It's been an element of luck in those clean sheets. It's not like I've come away thinking, wow, defensively, fantastic. They were doing this, that, and the other. Nothing could break us down. Well done, everyone involved. Fantastic defending. Both times I've come away thinking, on another day, we lose. I'm not that bothered, but it just feels a little bit like we got off with it. Man City usually take a few days to get purring. I was glad when the fixtures come out. I was like, I'm pleased to be playing Villa first because they've got a lot of changes in terms of transfers. And I was pleased to be playing Man City early doors because they sometimes take a few games to get up and running. Well, that's not the case here. They're already purring. Haaland banged in a hat-trick last week. Gündoğan's back. De Bruyne's in form already. They've got Doku and Savinho on the wings. The only positive is that Rodri's not there, so we might be able to get a goal. I'm not looking forward to it, Gonzo. Yeah, I think. Are you sticking with your 1-0? Well, you have to. I'm not.
I am. Look. I mean, hopefully, I know someone will be annoyed, but hopefully, most people have got that. I am half joking, right? I am having a bit of a laugh here, right? I am. Yes, my instinct tells me we're going to get whooped. All right, but I am because I'm going to stick with it because I'm quite enjoying.
Well, I hope you're right.
Yeah, I'm quite enjoying talking about it in the way that I am. So I don't feel dejected and downbeat. I've got to be honest, I was more dejected with you reading out the draw last night. Not you. I mean, it's you. It's not your fault. You didn't pull Liverpool out of the hat. Would have been annoyed with you if you did.
I'd have cheated.
Yeah, what would you have done? Just
not sure. I'd have found a way
it around a bit more.
Yeah, I found a way. Like, is that? I don't believe those balls are 100% smooth. For example, there must be a little indent. They've not been manscaping.
That sounds like it. There you go. They're not even paying for this one. Mine are, Gio. Mine are.
But do you know where the numbers are? There must be a little bumper, an indent or something. You must maybe they are 100% smooth. I wouldn't be surprised. So I'd be having a rummage to avoid a 3 when Liverpool come out. I'd be like, I ain't picking a double number here. I'm looking for a singular one. Oh, not allowed one of them. That's Man City. They're not allowed to play each other.
No, that was not. Yeah.
Still don't get it. Still don't get it. Anyway,
not cool at all. Yeah. What else do you want to know?
So 1-0 for you.
Yeah.
I'll say 3-1 Man City. I think. Yeah, I think we're going to get beat. Listen, I'll take a point now. You offer me a point, yes, please. I'll have that. But I'm calm.
I'm not in a position to be fair.
I'm calm about it because we beat Crystal Palace. I'm calm about the situation we find ourselves. Even if we get beat by Man City, I'm relatively calm going into the international break. I'm just glad we've got points on the board because there was a possibility that we could have been going into the international break with no points and out the Carabao Cup. But it was, wasn't it?
No, there was. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
4 hard games to kick the season off with. It's not unrealistic to say we could have had no points and out the cup, but we're through in the cup, albeit we've got a tough game. But we're out through in the cup. We've got a minimum of 3 points. It's not the worst situation to find ourselves in. Lopetegui will have a couple of weeks with half the squad prior to the return. So I'm happy with where we are, regardless of how this game goes. However, a win and I'll be buzzing. I just hope for a good performance more than anything, Gonzo, because I feel like we're waiting for a performance which gives us hope and says, you know what, that was it. I could see the tactics. I liked what I seen. Pleased what I seen. I'm looking forward to us coming back after the break. I just feel a bit, I don't know, down after that win against Bournemouth, which is weird. I don't know why.
Because it was crap, and then we got drawn against Liverpool.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Get your thoughts into the comments below. Maybe you're predicting a win like Gonzo. Maybe you're as grumpy as I am. Miserable. I don't know why. But if you enjoyed this preview, please do drop a like, comment, subscribe to chat myself and Gonzo. Catch you in a bit.